mute you. Beautiful. Okay, so let's make our way to our mats. I'm gonna start out standing today at the front of the mat. Find a nice wide stance, so about hip width apart with the toes pointing forward. Little bend in the knees, so we're having this, let's call it athletic stance, so you're comfortable in the hips. Your arms can be just hanging on your sides. Bring the chin down towards your chest, so you're dropping the head down, feeling that little passive stretch in the back of your neck. Start checking in with your breath here. Your eyes can be open or closed. Taking a little moment. Check in with the body. Check in with your intention for your practice today. And then slowly bringing the hands to heart center. Let the head come back up. Let the shoulders relax down, feeling the thumbs on your sternum, your heart space. Gently tugging the tail under, feeling the feet grounding in the mat, feeling that connection and support to the ground. Inhaling deeply into the belly, feel that belly get big. And then exhaling completely. If you're comfortable, keep your eyes closed and just feel the pose. Take 5 more breaths here. See if you can take this 5 count inhale, 8 count exhale. So it's the same grounding foundational beginning that we often do seated. We're just playing with a different variation today. And with your next inhale, let the arms go out and up. Let the gaze follow. Exhale, arms come back down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And then keep floating. You can close your eyes now that you know what we're doing. Keeping that pelvic tilt in place so you're gently tugging the tail under. And then next time your arms are on top, keep them there. Interlace your fingers and then flip your palms up. So you're feeling that nice stretch in the palms and the wrists. Trying to squeeze your head with your upper arms. Then really lengthen the whole body. Let the belly button move inwards. And with your next exhale, gently start twisting to the right. Feeling that big opening in your left side. Maybe inviting a little smile onto your face. Keeping the rib cage gently tucked in. Still breathing in deeply into the belly. And with every exhale, see if you can come a little bit further down. With your next exhale, come back up. Inhale, reach up high. And with your exhale, gently bending to the left, feeling that big opening in the right side, planting into both feet. So check in with the feet. All four corners are pushing down. Still trying to squeeze the head with the upper arms. Beautiful. With your next exhale, make your way back up. Inhale, reach up high. And see if you can maybe bring your arms behind your ears, gently lifting the sternum up towards the sky. So you're coming into this little back bend, keeping a little core engagement by letting the belly button move inwards. So we're coming into a gentle back bend here. You can let the gaze go up or up and forward. Continue breathing. And with your next exhale, come out, release the fingers, and let them slowly rain down to your sides. Coming into your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Your palms are facing forward, arms are gently moving out to the sides. See if you can bring your feet as close together as possible. If that doesn't feel good for your lower back, it's all good to have a wider stance. And gently close your eyes here. Little bit of a squeeze in the butt cheeks and the legs. Your legs are squeezing gently towards each other. Inviting softness into the face and the shoulders. This is a really great pose to use for a little reset in between poses, or just if you need a little energizing in the morning or before a difficult task. Just take this for about 5 to 10 breaths and see how it changes the attitude, the state of mind, the lightness with which you approach the task at hand. And then gently blink open the eyes. With the inhale, raise the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive down. Gently bending your knees, coming into a little forward fold. So really generously bending the knees, letting the belly move down towards the thighs. The hands can be resting on the ground, maybe on your fingertips, little bend in the elbows. Let the head hang down heavy. With every exhale, inviting a little bit more depth by letting the belly sink down. Inhale, half lift, straightening the legs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming up into your half lift. Bring the hands all the way up to your hip creases, letting the elbows point up into your little grasshopper legs. We're continuing to breathe here. The gaze goes down to the ground. You can have a little bend in your knees. As you can see, mine are not fully straightened. And we're just continuing to hold here. Breathing deep into the belly and all the way out. With your next exhale, slowly come back down. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Bring the arms over your head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, raise the arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then bring your feet about hip width apart if they are close together. You can go as far as mat width apart, so play with it and see what feels best. Interlace the fingers behind your back. If you feel warm enough in your shoulders, you can bring the palms together, but it's totally okay to have that little square happening by not bringing the palms together. Just see what feels best. And then wherever you end up, start squeezing the shoulder blades, trying to crack that walnut between the shoulder blades. The hands are gently pulling down. So you're opening the heart. Imagine there's a string pulling the sternum up towards the sky. You can keep that little bend in your knees. And then bend your knees a little bit deeper and gently start folding forward. Stretching the arms over your head. Your arms are here to support you. Letting the gaze go in between the legs to the wall behind you. Still squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then with your next exhale, we will slowly start rolling up, keeping that nice bend in the knees. Keep squeezing the shoulders. The head comes up last. We're going to move into our nice resetting in our mountain pose. So release the hands, bring them out to the sides with the palms facing forward. Gently close your eyes here, keeping that wide stance, tugging the tail under, finding that stability in the pose. And gently blink open the eyes. Interlace the fingers behind your back again. And then move your fingers one over so the other thumb is in front. Big bend, a generous bend in the knees again. Start squeezing the shoulder blades together. Your palms can be touching or you can have that square. And then your hands are pulling down. You're opening the heart, keeping that core engagement. So we're keeping the back safe. See if you can maybe open up a little bit more than in the first round. And then with your next exhale, bend the knees deeper and slowly start folding forward. Still squeezing the shoulder blades. This will help you keep your upper body safe. The arms are stretching over your head. So we're having gravity help us come down a little bit further with the upper body. Gaze goes through your legs to the wall behind you. And then just start melting into the pose. With every exhale, see if you can find a little bit more depth. And then using your next exhale, keep that safe bend in the knees. Start rolling all the way up. The head comes up last. Moving into your mountain pose. So gently release the fingers. Close your eyes. I like the name mountain pose for this asana. It really makes you feel supported and grounded and like you're strong and unwavering no matter what's thrown in your path. You can handle it. And gently blink open the eyes. With the inhale, raise the arms out and up. Exhale, bring them back down. Inhale up. You can bring a little bit of a swing and flow into it. So bending your knees, crossing the arms over. We're flushing it out. So don't feel like you have to do exactly what I do or what the screen next to you is doing. Just see if you can play with this and make this feel good for you. This should be fun. It's okay to smile. It's okay to just feel. Play is an important part of everything that we do. Perfect. And then slowly coming into stillness. We're going to keep that nice wide stance. We're going to move into knocking on heaven's doors. So it's a little breath work actually. So we're going to start out by just swinging the arms from one side to the other, nice and slow. And you're just knocking on your hips, your legs. If you have especially tight spots, you can also consciously choose to knock on those spots. I always have pretty tight hips from running and walking a lot. So I choose to spend a lot of my attention there. So if you have other places, just feel free to knock on there. Now that you know what we're doing, feel free to close your eyes here. And we will start speeding it up. I always find that closing my eyes helps me when I want to speed up, because it helps me to really zone out and get into it. So if you're having a loud clapping sound, that's perfect. We really want to wake up whoever is sleeping behind those doors. I'm going to be here for a good 60 more seconds. So feel free to go all out. We'll slowly start slowing it down again. Almost like a wheel that doesn't come to an instant stop. It starts slowing down first until the movement stops completely. When your movement stops, you can just let the arms dangle down on your side, keeping the eyes closed, and just take a moment here. How do you feel? How does the body feel? How does the mind feel? Whatever is ahead, whatever has happened this week, how are you feeling in this moment right now while you're standing on this mat? This is your little microcosmos. It helps you explore how you're feeling, how you're doing, how the things of the day affect you. And then gently blink open the eyes. Bring your feet closer together, about hip width apart. With your inhale, raise the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step the right foot to the back of the mat. Bring the right knee down and release the back toes. Coming onto your fingertips here. See if you can gently start lifting the upper body off. So you're still staying with the hands on the ground, but you're just not dumping the chest in the leg. You're lifting the belly off the leg. The left hip is gently pushing back. And see if you can let the gaze go forward. Finding that grounding sensation in the front foot and the back foot. And from here, with the next inhale, we'll peel the upper body all the way up. The arms come up last, either to heart center or maybe all the way up towards the sky. Your palms can be together, or you can hold that big beach ball in between the hands, creating space in the shoulders. Every day is different. When I was with you guys on Friday, I really just felt like I wanted my hands apart. Today, keeping my palms together feels better. I'm really just honoring where your body is at on an everyday basis. And if it feels good, you can let the gaze go up in between the hands, and you can do that even if your hands are at heart center. So don't feel like you need a change here. And with your next exhale, let the gaze come back down, hands come down to frame the left foot, plank the back leg, and then step the left foot to the back of the mat. We're coming into a high plank. You know your options here. You can bring the knees down, maybe lift the feet up to make it extra fun. Making sure the head is in a nice neutral spot. So we're neither dropping the head nor lifting the head, just as an extension of your spine. The shoulders are over your wrists. And if your knees are lifted, make sure the hips are at the height of the shoulders. So no butts up in the air, no saggy butts. Nicely centered. We're going to be here for 3 more breaths, just creating some heat. And gently bring the knees down to the mat. And with your exhale, lower yourself all the way down, nice and slow. Inhale, coming into a baby cobra. Tops of the feet are pushing into the mat. See if you can maybe lift the palms off the ground so they are hovering just above the ground. This way you will ensure you're using your upper body strength. Letting the gaze go about a foot in front of the mat. Yeah, that nice long back of the neck. And then really hug your elbows in here. If this is totally not working for your body, feel free to come into a swings pose. And with your next exhale, slowly come back down. Inhale, tuck your toes under and lift your hips. And with your exhale, lift the hips all the way up, coming into your first downward dog for this morning. I'm gonna walk the dog out here. Really generously bending one knee, then the other. You want to do little twists, you can do that. If stillness is calling your name, then go there. Check onto your hands, making sure your fingers are spread out like little sunbeams. Every knuckle is pushing down. And then push the middle of the palm down as well to take some weight off the wrist. I'm going to be here for about 6 more breaths, so really take the time you need. Maybe do a little body check-in. Beautiful, everybody. Now with your next inhale, come up high onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend the knees slightly and take a little walk to the front of the mat. Keeping your legs as straight as possible, so coming up onto your fingertips towards the end. Finding that wider stance, so a little bit wider than hip width apart. And then bring your palms underneath your feet. So bend your knees as much as needed to make that happen. The toes are touching the wrists, so you're bringing the hands underneath your feet from the front. And then really pushing those feet into the hands. And then your hands start pushing into your feet. You're having this nice push and pull movement. You can start pulling the belly down. The gaze goes in between your legs to the wall behind you again. And by creating that push-pull, you're A, giving your wrists a little massage with the toes, and B, you're expanding the sensation into the shoulders and the upper back, and even into your lats. So realizing that each asana is much more than just one body part doing something. Everything is connected. And then slowly release the hands. Let's flush it out. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Raise the arms over your head. Exhale, hands through heart center all the way back down. Step the left foot to the back of the mat, bringing the left knee down and release the back toes. Coming up onto your fingertips here again. Start pushing that right hip gently back. And then we're creating some lift in the upper body. So see if you can lift the upper body off that leg. Let the gaze go slightly forward. Create space between the shoulder and the ear. So you're lengthening that neck. Right hip is really pushing back. And then from here, we will use our next exhale to gently peel the body all the way up. Your arms come up last. You know your choices here. So really pick what works for you. Check in with those hips, making sure the right hip is still gently pulling back, creating that scissor movement in the legs and the hips. And then maybe letting the gaze go up. And with your next exhale, bringing your gaze back down, bringing your hands down to frame the right foot. Plank the back leg, step the right foot to the back of the mat. Bring the knees down, and let's move into a little panther or wide-legged child's pose. So bring the knees mat width apart, big toes are touching. And then gently lower the hips down towards your heels. Walking your hands out in front of you so you have a nice lengthening in your sides and the shoulders. Your forehead can be touching the ground, or maybe your chin is on the ground. If that is not happening, you can use your pillow or your blanket that you have close by to bring the ground closer to you. Wherever you end up in this, gently close your eyes and just focus on breathing into your lower back. And then we will slowly make our way up onto all fours, bringing the wrists underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. Tops of the feet are pushing down into the ground. Really push into the ground of the palms as well, so you can see your upper body lift up. You can see the difference when I'm down here, and when I really start pushing into the ground, I lift up further away from the mat. So you're trying to lift yourself away from the mat. With the next inhale, drop the belly, let the gaze go up. Exhale, pull the navel in, rounding the upper back. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze goes up. Exhale, round. And then keep moving here for a few rounds. You can close your eyes. If there's any extra sticky parts, feel free to linger in those places. And then slowly coming back to center. Walk your hands slightly forward so your wrists are slightly in front of the shoulders. And then tuck your toes under and use your next exhale to lift the hips up, coming into your downward dog. 3 breaths in your down dog, pushing the heels down towards the ground. Belly is pushing towards the legs. You can have a bend in your knees here. And then with your next inhale, lift the right leg up high towards the sky. It's okay if your hip opens up here. You can bend and straighten that right leg and just play with that. See how that feels. And then we will slowly step that right foot in between the hands. Left knee comes down, but keep your toes tucked under. Left hand stays on the ground. And then use your next inhale to lift the right arm up towards the sky. We're coming into a little twist here. You can let the gaze follow that right hand. And then we'll play with a little thread the needle variation here. So with your next exhale, bring the right hand down behind the left hand, reaching away from your hands or away from your legs. And with your inhale, reach back up. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale one more time, up. Exhale, thread the needle. Beautiful. And slowly bring it up one last time. And then bring that hand back down. We're gonna slowly start straightening that front leg, pushing the hips back. You can keep those back toes tucked under. And then today's variation, we're keeping that foot on the ground. So you're trying to keep the toes planted down, inviting that big stretch into the top of the foot. The hands stay on the ground, and we're gently melting down with the upper body towards that front leg. You can have that bend in the front leg. Right hip is gently pushing back. And then just see again, we're doing and playing with inviting more depth. So especially using our exhale to see if we can find some more. And then slowly bend that right knee again. Lift the left knee, step that right foot to the back of the mat and come into your downward dog for 3 breaths. Heels are pushing down. With your next inhale, lift the left leg up high. Again, it's okay if your left hip opens up, and you can just play with straightening and bending the left knee, pushing into both hands equally. So maybe push into your left hand a little bit more, actually, just to balance out that imbalance. And from here, we will slowly bring that left foot in between the hands. Bring the right knee down, release. Actually, don't release, keep the toes tucked under. Keep the right hand on the ground. And then use your next exhale to lift the left arm up high, opening the heart space. Maybe letting the gaze go up towards the left hand. Playing with that, making sure that the right shoulder stays gently tucked under. So we don't want it to be all the way out, touching your neck or your ear. And then we're going to do our thread the needle on this side. So slowly with the next inhale, bring that left hand behind the right arm, reaching away from your legs. And move back up. And thread the needle. And back up. One more time, thread the needle. And back up. Bring that left hand down, framing the left foot. We'll slowly set, straightening the left leg, pushing the hips back. We're keeping that left foot on the ground so your toes stay pushing down. Aligning the body so you're trying to bring the belly on top of the left leg. And we're just gently melting down here. Left hip is pushing back. Feel free to adjust if you need to move the back knee or need to move the left foot out further to the front. But we don't have to be stagnant. And then slowly bending that left knee again. Lift the right knee, step that left foot to the back of the mat. Coming into our high plank for about 3 breaths. So take your variation here. And then bring your knees down to the ground. And we will use the exhale to slowly lower all the way down. See if you can really go in slow motion. Landing on the mat, come up onto your forearms. And then bring your left hand towards the right corner of the mat. I should face you this way so it kind of looks like this. Your left elbow stays here and you're just moving this over towards the right. Perfect. And then bend your right knee and we will slowly slide that right hand back and see if you can grab the right foot with the right hand. If you can start pulling it in towards your butt. Maybe your chest starts facing forward again. Your gaze goes forward. Just play and see where you're at here. And we'll release and we will move on to the other side. Bring the right forearm down. Let the right hand move over towards the left so you have that nice crossing. Let the left hand move up. Bend the left knee and then slowly start twisting the body towards the left. See if you can grab that left foot with your left hand. Start pulling it in towards the body And then see if you can gently come back to facing the front. So your chest pointing to the front, your gaze going to the front. You're really pushing into that forearm. So your right forearm and elbow is pushing down. That right shoulder is pushing back and down as well. And then slowly release from this side. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck the toes under, and we're going to slowly lift the hips up and sit down on the mat. Extending the left leg out long. Bring that right foot in. So your right knee is pointing up towards the sky. Make sure you're sitting on your sitting bones only, and move your left butt flesh out to the side. And just gently hug that right knee in. That left hand can just be resting on your left leg. So this here is option one. You can stay here. If you want to play with a little bind, you can bring that right arm to the inside of the right leg, lean forward, and then bring that arm towards the back. So you're bending, bringing that right hand towards your butt. And then your left hand goes out to the left and maybe meets the right hand behind you. You can play with straightening the upper body a little bit, maybe sitting up. And then if you have that bind, slowly release the bind. And then we will all do a little bit more playtime here. So using your peace fingers, your right peace fingers, bring those right peace fingers to the inside of the right big toe, grabbing that right big toe. And you can use your thumb to kind of close that circle to hold on to the big toe. The left hand is on the ground to support you. And then see if you can use your exhale to gently lift the leg up. Straighten it up as much as you can. You're trying to keep your upper body nice and straight, so don't lean back like this, but try to keep up seated. And it doesn't have to get fully straight. We're just playing with this, seeing how this feels today. Gently bring that foot back down and let it come down on the outside of the left leg. That bottom leg is nicely pushing into the ground. Left heel is grounding down. So if I were to walk around and try to lift up your leg, I would have a really hard time doing so. And then your left arm wraps around the right leg. You can straighten and lengthen the spine. And then your right hand walks out behind you, helping you to twist a little bit further. Let your gaze go over your right shoulder towards the back, and then gently tug your chin. Your gaze goes kind of more down. Squeezing that leg into your chest. And then slowly release. Coming out of it nice and slow. Extend the right leg out. Bring the left foot in, knee pointing up. That foot stays up nice and tall. Moving the right butt flesh out to the side. Then maybe just hugging that knee in with the left arm and using this to lengthen and straighten your spine. Right hand can rest on the right leg, really pushing that right heel into the ground. And then you are welcome to stay here or maybe play with that bind. So bringing the left hand to the inside, then wrapping around towards the back. Right arm moves out to the back to find the left hand. And then we're gently straightening the upper body. You're trying to sit up. And then release wherever you're at. Use your peace fingers to grab your big toes, your peace finger and your thumb. Left hand to the left toe. Right hand comes out to the right for extra support. And we're just gently lifting and straightening the left leg. Remember, you're trying to keep seated up straight, so we're not rounding to the back here. We're staying up here. That right hand, I like having it slightly behind me. It gives me extra support. If your leg doesn't straighten, please don't get frustrated. Well, you can see I even have a little bend in my knee here. All good. Shoulders gently push back and down. And then we will slowly guide that left foot down towards the outside of the right leg. The right heel is really pushing down, grounding. And then wrap your right arm around the left leg, start squeezing it in, helping your upper body to twist to the left. Left hand walks out behind you. Let your gaze go over your left shoulder towards the back. And then gently tug your chin here. And very slowly come out of your twist. Extend both legs out long, about mat width apart. And then you can use your hands on the sides and lower down from here. Or if you want to, you can extend the arms out in front of you. And then nice and slow, we will lower all the way down. You're kind of trying to bring your back down vertebra by vertebra. So we're going slow, slow, slow. Let your arms come down on your sides with your palms facing up, giving your armpits some room to breathe here. If your eyes are not closed yet, gently close your eyes. Let your toes fall out to the side. And then see if from now until the end of practice, you can resist the urge to move, to wiggle. If there is anything that you need to adjust beforehand, feel free to do that. But a lot of the discomfort and the uncomfortable sensations, they actually slow down and cease if we just give the body some time to adjust and start melting. going to just move into our final pose, moving into our Shavasana, maybe taking the opportunity to go on a little travel to our favorite place in nature, listening into the sounds, to the sensations. Maybe there's a breeze, maybe the sun is shining, maybe you can hear the ocean waves, or some birds singing. Whatever is happening, just take it all in. And then if you have the time, feel free to stay in your Shavasana and just tune us out. If you're ready to get going and tackle the day, you can start coming back from that happy place, but keep the feelings and the sensations of it. Start wiggling your fingers and your toes. Let the movement spread out into your arms and your legs. Gently bringing your legs together, bringing your arms over your head on the ground. Giving yourself a big, big stretch. And then slowly bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big, big hug. Really hug yourself like you love yourself here. And then slowly let go of the knees and roll onto your right side. Letting your head rest on your right hand or your right arm. And your left hand is just there to support you. You can slowly start making your way up into a seated position. Bringing the hands to heart center when you arrive. Gently dropping your head down towards your hands, bowing down in front of yourselves, in front of each other, embracing our little yoga community that we've created. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be kind. Namaste.
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 Thank you for joining me today. I had a beautiful beginning of the Sunday, and I